Hi, I'm Sue Fairchild, professional editor for the Christian Market. I don't change voices, I make them louder, and here's how.
Hi, today we're going to talk about N dashes, M dashes, and hyphens. They are all different, and you need to know the correct way to use them properly. So we're also going to talk a little bit about ellipses because I think most writers use them incorrectly. So we're going to start with that. Ellipses in fiction most often show hesitation, a stuttering of words. The character probably is trying to come up with something to say. Right there, where I hesitated, there would be ellipses in a manuscript, okay? So what I mean is, well, what I wanted to say was there would be ellipses in between those. It also can be used for trailing off. So when your character is trying to think of something or they're not sure what to say, those little hesitations in a written form would be an ellipse. Ellipses typically, depending on your publisher, is a series of 3 dots, of course, it's ellipses. Depending on your publisher, they might want you to use the Microsoft Word feature, which there is a keyboard function to utilize that either for PCs or Macs. They're different. You can do a quick Google search of that and easily find what the keyboard shortcuts are for that. The Chicago Manual of Style suggests that you have a space before and after your ellipses, but your publisher might not want to do that. So you have to do what your publisher wants. However, it is never just 3 periods. So don't just hit period 3 times and expect that to create ellipse for you. Now, sometimes Microsoft Word will do that, but it's not always going to do that for you. So look up what your keyboard function actually is, your keyboard shortcut, and utilize those properly. So again, it's a trailing off or some kind of hesitation of speech is when ellipses are primarily used in fiction. In nonfiction, an ellipses would be especially used in like a quote where there might be a section of the quote that is left out. Whatever that section is, you would show that there's something missing by using the ellipses there. So let's talk about now an M dash. That's E as in electric, M as in Mary, M dash. That is used to show an interruption in speech. So if I'm talking and someone interrupts what I'm saying, that would be shown in writing as an M dash. You would immediately go into the other person's dialogue. Now I'm going to try and add some text in here so you can see what I'm talking about on this video. But you're going to go right in just as though you're in the moment and that person is interrupting the other character. You don't need to say she interrupted. You don't need to say he was cut off by. The M dash tells you that. Okay, the M dash tells you that. It also is used for a sudden break in thought. Can he find this thing? Will he, M dash, can he, M dash, find this thing? It can also be used to amplify or explain. So setting off information within a sentence, kind of like parentheses or commas do, but in fiction, you don't use parentheses. So where you would use like a parenthesis, because I wanted to tell you this a little aside, you would use an M dash instead. My friends, my former friends, didn't like that I did that. My former friends would have an M dash before and after, okay? Now an N dash versus the hyphen and the M dash. And a hyphen is the shortest, okay? And that is simply used by using your hyphen key on your keyboard. An N dash, which is EN, electric, NATO, EN dash is a little bit longer, and then the M dash is the longest, okay? So an N dash then is primarily used in between numbers or to show like a connection of numbers or words to show the space. So from 1976 to an N dash 2000, you're showing that number that is a little bit put aside, okay? or a score. So the score of the Baltimore Ravens game was versus the Pittsburgh Steelers was 42-0. I'll let you, whoever your favorite team is, you decide who had 42 and who had nothing. A hyphen is really used mainly in between words. And a lot of the times I suggest that you look up Merriam-Webster's to look up a word, because a lot of words are not hyphenated anymore. A lot of words have become so part of our vocabulary and our vernacular that Merriam-Webster's is suggesting you get rid of the hyphen in between. So like, for example, reread, hyphen read used to be a hyphenated word. It is not anymore. It's just reread. It's one word. Never ending, I believe that is still hyphenated, never hyphen ending. So I would suggest that you would, any word that you think is hyphenated, look it up in the Merriam-Webster's first and determine if it really should be hyphenated anymore or if it's just one word. But hyphens are normally utilized just in that kind of situation. And again, we went over the M dashes, and the N dashes, excuse me, are two, usually for words and numbers. I'm going to give you some examples here in the video. So according to the Chicago Manual of Style, the M dash, electronic Mary, is used to avoid confusion. No sentence should contain more than two, okay? No more than two M dashes. And if more than two elements need to be set off, use parentheses. I would suggest, if you need, now of course, rules are all made to be broken. But if you need to use more than two M dashes in a sentence, I would suggest you probably need to break those sentences up. So an N dash, again, is for, so we're starting out from the beginning. Hyphen is hyphenate words, okay? It's the shortest of all the dashes. An N dash, EN, is a little bit longer and a different keyboard function. You cannot utilize any just key on your keyboard. There is a specific keyboard function. I will try and put those here on the video for you. And then an M dash is the longest one, and that is also a keyboard function. Sometimes Word, if you finish your word and then click two hyphens in a row without any spaces and then your next word, sometimes Microsoft Word will create an M dash for you. But again, I wouldn't rely on that because it often does not work properly. And I'm not sure how that works across platforms with PC or Mac. But again, I'm going to give you the keyboard shortcuts here. So I'm hoping that all of this is not muddy and it is clear to you. And again, I'm going to try and add some video things in here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and ask, and I'll try to clarify for you. And again, be sure that you subscribe, click on the bell so that you get notifications for all my videos, and follow me on social media. All my links are down below. Thanks.